Hello and welcome to the Phoenix 5 Info Show. I'm your host, Lieutenant Vince Lewis of the Phoenix Police Public Affairs Bureau, coming to you once again from Phoenix Police Headquarters in beautiful downtown Phoenix. And I have a very special guest I would like to reintroduce you all. Welcome back to the show, Police Chief Michael Sullivan. Sir, welcome back to the show.
Lieutenant Lewis, it's great to see you today.
Thanks for being here. 2024 is drawn to a close. 2025 is upon us. Let's talk about the last year. Right off the bat, I want to touch on a topic that you've brought up quite recently, because we never forget. We honor those who have gone before us, the fallen. We lost one of our own this year, didn't we?
We did, and there's nothing harder for us than to mourn the loss with the department, but even more importantly with the family.
And we're talking about Zane Coolidge.
Zane Coolidge was, we lost him on September 6th, and that's a date that we won't ever forget. We're going to be there for the family, and I have to thank the community because the community has really stepped up. They embraced the entire department, but they embraced the Coolidge family. Mm-hmm. And I just want to thank the community for everything they did, stepping up and supporting that family through that incredibly difficult time.
Yeah, I remember we covered it quite extensively, obviously, with we put the video out on the social media. The funeral and everything was very well attended. It's one of the hardest things that we do, but it's one of the things that we do well, and that's honor those that have gone before us. I also want to touch on some of the accomplishments. Let's talk about the crime stats, FBI UCR stats. They measure how we're doing basically as far as enforcement goes. And crime is down?
I would say the crime's down here. That's the good news. If we look at overall crime, it's trending. These are preliminary numbers, but about down 10% so far this year. As we come up quickly on the end of the year, looked at the numbers today, and we're down 30% in homicides. That's a significant number. And I say 30%, but we're talking over 50 lives that were lost last year that weren't lost this year. That's significant. That's significant to this community.
Yeah, and juvenile homicide victims are down as well. Yeah, we're seeing fewer.
Yeah, that was one of the focuses of our crime plan this year. We saw an uptick in juvenile violence last year, and we've seen a significant decrease this year in juvenile homicide victims, which is significant. And I think that's partly due with the work that the women and men of this department do every day, but it's also in partnership with the community.
Yeah, and so as part of the overall crime reduction plan, how well are our commanders doing?
Our commanders are doing an incredible job, engaging with the community and making sure that we focus on the crime, but also making sure that we're engaged with the community and getting the information that we can to be able to solve crimes, despite the challenges that we have with staffing.
Right. We'll talk about staffing in a minute, but I also want to touch on your drive to continue to solicit community input. We've had some opportunities for substantive changes to policies before we've enacted them. What other opportunities, or give me your take on community input when it comes to policymaking?
I think for anything we do, we're doing this for the community. We want to hear the community's voice. So as we update policies, as we work to continuously improve, we're going to solicit input. And there will be a lot of opportunities here in the spring to solicit additional input to the Phoenix Police Department when it comes to our policies. But we also want to hear from the community when it comes to what's important to them, what they see in their neighborhoods when we develop our crime plans. We developed that crime plan last year. We listened to community members. You saw some of those things incorporated, and we'll do the same thing next year. We will always have a crime plan because that's why we exist, is to prevent and reduce crime. And we look forward to engaging the community, not just in policy input, but in input on how we police in their neighborhoods.
Yeah, and folks can follow us on social media platforms and stay engaged that way. That's the easy way, but they also look for opportunities where they can jump on and look at policies before it goes out, provide the input, and we can enact those. Let's touch on some major investigations, some huge accomplishments for the department. So we've got professional staff and sworn staff, analysts, forensic scientists. Positions run the gamut, and everybody has a hand in making these successes. Let's talk about Operation Makeup Breakup. Do you recall that one, the retail theft ring?
Oh yeah, no, that was a very interesting case. Essentially, a storefront was set up in somebody's front living room with stolen items. It was a terrific effort by our property crimes unit, but then engaging, other folks throughout the department to make sure that, when we talk about organized retail theft, that's why it occurs. To be able to steal these items from retailers and then profit from them on the other side. So that was a very impressive operation that our detectives and professional staff worked very hard on.
Yeah, there was a retail burglary team that was out responsible for $315,000 in stolen goods, $150,000 in damage. That was really a good bust as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So drugs, we're also attacking this drug issue. Operation Full Court Press netted 570 arrests, 3,700 fentanyl pills, 30 grams of meth, 25 firearms seized. You must have had some oversight in that one.
Absolutely. It's something that we're going to be committed to every year. We did it the year before as well. But making sure that we pick up folks that are wanted for crime, whether that be outstanding warrants or that they're wanted as a result of some investigations. That's one of the key tenets of our plan. And it's not surprising. Those folks also are in possession of firearms and drugs, illegal drugs, when we encounter them. So it just goes to the tenacity of the men and women that go out there and do this work every single day.
Yeah, so within the Public Affairs Bureau, we have some public information specialists that pay attention to our cold cases and where we are with those, because we do like to highlight those. We put those successes out on our social media platforms as well. Does the name Baby Skylar trigger in your mind one of those cold cases?
Oh yeah, no, that was a case from years ago. It occurred, where we found Baby Skylar at the airport, and our detectives never said, we're going to stop, and they never do. There's always opportunities for technology to get better, and that's what's part of some of the investigative techniques that were available to us today that weren't available to us in the past that allowed us to crack this case and then make sure that we found justice for Baby Skylar.
Yeah, definitely. So we're here speaking with Chief Sullivan, and thanks again for being on the show. I'm running through the gamut of a packed year in 2024. We're talking about some of the major accomplishments and things, but you touched on an issue with staffing challenges. It seems to be just the kind of something that's always there. How are you meeting the staffing challenges in today's environment? Where do you go? Where do you look? That kind of a thing.
First off, I want the public to know, we're down 600 officers, and that's sworn officers. But the department has done a number of things to be able to enhance the ability of those 600 officers, or lack of 600 officers, to be able to provide service to the community. Part of that is police civilian investigators. We have close to 70 of those in the department now that we didn't have in the past. That allows investigators, sworn investigators, to go out and do the work and have that support of somebody to be able to help. That's significant help. We've increased the number of police assistants that we have that takes some of that work away from sworn police officers. But then, we have to continue to make sure that we retain the talent that we have internally. And we've seen that. We've seen folks extending beyond their normal retirement date, which is a positive sign. But then we also have to aggressively go out there and hire folks. And it's been an incredibly tough environment as we've started to reach the end of the year. And there's encouraging signs on our recruitment. We've seen applications go up. We've seen the classes get bigger. But this is going to have to be a sustained effort that we put forward. What I would tell the public, if you know somebody who has a heart of service, please send them our way, joinphoenix.com. We're always looking for good people for sworn positions or for some of the other positions that we have in the police department. Yeah,
it's just both professional staff is our non-sworn. We have sworn positions, professional staff positions opening all the time. Go to joinphxpd.com and look for some of those opportunities. So as we're bringing these new recruits on and we're retaining our employees and we're getting the max amount of our staffing, we do face dangerous incidents out on the street. This year, we've had some assaults on officers. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I believe we've had 4 officers that were shot in the line of duty. We've also had an officer that was stabbed in the line of duty. And then obviously we talked earlier about Officer Zane Coolidge and that incident. It's just indicative of the bravery and courage that our officers show every single day. and what they face.
Yeah.
And we need to be thankful to our officers and make sure that they appreciate us. So I would encourage the public, when you see an officer, thank them.
Definitely. So even with all of those incidents that we know happen, the officers still continue to go out there, do their job every day. Officer-involved shootings are down compared to years past. Facing what they're facing when officer-involved shootings are down, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's the training that we've been going through? I know there's some new training that we've been implementing department-wide.
Yeah, I think some of the training that we put in place, the discussions we've had about policy and the updated policy, and this is all about better outcomes for everyone involved, to include the public, to include suspects, to include officers, because at the end of the day, we want everybody to go home.
Definitely. All right. So you've said this before, and it stuck with me. It's never too late to do the right thing. We, under your leadership and the hard work of some of the folks in the department, we were actually able to add a name to the roster of our fallen in the line of duty. We're talking about this year, we have May 2nd, it was the 80th anniversary of the line of duty death of David Starr Johnson, who was an officer. Do you remember us going through that?
Absolutely. One of the proudest moments, I think, of my entire almost 30-year career that I've had in law enforcement, to be able to be a part of honoring David Starr Johnson and the sacrifice that he gave 80 years ago. I think there's a marker right downtown. You can drive right down the street in the center of the city and see that, and we did what needed to be done.
Definitely. So real quick, let's jump over to the Department of Justice. It's a new year, new administration, but your commitment and sticking with the road to reform is still stalwart.
Yeah, I think I've said, worry about the things we can't control, right? I can't control what the Department of Justice is going to do. I can control what we do in this department as far as doing the right thing to be able to provide the best service to the city. Our commitment is to continually improve. I talk all the time. We strive to be a self-assessing, self-correcting agency, and that's something that never ends. It's something that you're always going to reach for, and that's our commitment.
So as we draw to a close, we're talking about what's coming up in 2025. We're going to continue on with the community engagements. Our CAOs, the community action officers, are out there engaged with the community. You've got your advisory boards. We have an ice cream truck. There's the opportunities to connect with the community are going to continue on. But what are some of the milestones that you're looking forward to in 2025?
First and foremost, I talk all the time about our mission, to prevent and reduce crime, to make sure that we provide justice to victims and community. That's always going to be top of mind here in the Phoenix Police Department, and then be able to do it better. Be able to provide that service to the residents of the city of Phoenix, and make sure that we provide a safe environment going forward. That's public safety is if you don't have public safety, what do you have? And that's what we engage with the community to make sure that we co-produce with the community here in the city of Phoenix.
Definitely. Well, I definitely want to thank you for your valuable time, Chief, and your leadership. It means a lot to us, as we continue to all work together as a team, as a family, really, with the community to help affect crime in the neighborhood. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Lieutenant Lewis.
I want to remind you, the viewer and listener, that you too can help solve crime in your community, potentially earn a cash reward by sending tips to silentwitness.org. Visit silentwitness.org or call 480-WITNESS. We're hiring. Go to joinphxpd.com. Check out all those opportunities for careers, how you can help fight crime in your community as well. Join us on all social media platforms. These episodes are available on YouTube for you to view as well. And Chief, you want to take us out?
Yeah, just remember, we're all in this together.